You know what, Shep? I'm gonna play it. I think you guys need it over there on the farm and Fox in the Box, as far as what it is. Now this is the truth. I think we're at a rally pivot time in a massive regime change, says this young lady, and she's not wrong. We'll be getting into this one here in a minute. I want to actually talk about the mysticism of being an alpha or a hoodoo voodoo warlord. Alpha. Well, just a witch doctor in town, honestly, Sharps. Nothing much special about it. I mean, it comes up, Shepard. We'll be talking about it here of these. What do you got here? Let's get me out of the way. Yeah, I got former Supreme Court, whatever here. No offense, not to me, just whatever, but I'll give you a Lebowski brief on the foundation today. Um, the former clerk speaks out against what was going on in there in terms of those regime change, and that's one of those interesting Mayan things. It's like, I'm gonna hit you like an alpha, talking to a beta. Why? Because this is really important. It's something people get wrong in the subject matter.
Since
I
at
love him
least the
working the
Middle
axe, but
Ages, it's
clearly
been
assaulting
argued that
sharps.
what
Right?
truly
Clearly,
stands between
clearly the sharps here
servility and freedom
about
is
the Norse
education.
mythology
That to be
on it
rich,
when
powerful,
so
or
you might
even
have to do a little bit of
faithfully religious
clairvoyancy.
can
Here's
prove
the trick in the
inadequate in
bar,
the face
kid.
of the
But if it's
freedom
a 40
that
year old that's
metaphysical
married and
understanding and even
something,
the
you're going to
knowledge of
have to slide in
physics
some
can
kid
ultimately
numbers. It's
provide.
a bit cold
The
reading on Carl
subjectivity of
Sagan's
Protestants
Universe
as knowledge
Loaf
itself
of
is
our
power.
modern
Indeed, the
magic
liberal arts are
of
conceived
regime
as that base of knowledge fit
changes,
for a
power
free person,
turns.
and
And I want you to think
in
about that. It's
turn,
like, well,
the
how's the
very
regime
knowledge
changing?
that
It's
makes
going to
the
be
free
a
person
Democratic Party for the next 3 years at
free.
least, while renegotiating
But such
contracts on a
education
shift
never
that
comes
really
easy,
had different
especially in the
ideals
medieval
between the
world.
two plays, which
Universities were
is more
distant
noticeable in
instruction,
actions at
rarely
spooky
available in the
distance and change
vernacular.
in field.
Books were
You'd say, here's Route
astronomically
1, here's the
expensive,
run,
and
there's
the
the heat,
topics were
there's
actually
the
marked
normal
by
turns on the
mostly
issue in the
rote
funny car Formula
memorization
1.
and commentary upon commentary with little
I,
room
I
for
learned it from
personal
watching
interests
Escoterica.
or personal
Hit the like
creative
button.
expression. And the church was never terribly distant, that double-edged sword
It's
of,
like walking around in
at
the
the
woods.
same time,
That
enabling
mouse.
education, but all the while carefully curating that process in the avoidance of what it took to be
So,
heresy. Of course, then,
nowadays
as
it's a bit different
now,
because a lot of this
attention
is
spans
tempered
were
or
meager,
inflated
memory
in a way that you
struggled,
like.
and
What do you mean?
retention
And
and
it's like,
hardly
well, if more
reliable
kids catch a
information
Zeus
from
watching fire and it
blathering
works,
nonsense
or it doesn't blow up
proved
town out of
difficult.
fear and
The
anxiety of
learning
kicking Adam and
process
Eve out of
simply
town,
took years, and it takes years,
it's
decades
going to be some
upon
medieval
decades to
technique
develop
here.
even
I
a
like Photon
tiny
coming in
niche
as the
of
13th warrior
expertise.
walking into town
And
about the Vindu
I know something about that.
and people eaters.
What if there were a way to
Now,
keep all
Alpha
that
Brother,
knowledge,
you know what I'm talking
eloquence,
about,
and
and
an
sometimes you
ironclad
got to deal with
memory to
John.
obtain
I'm the voodoo
only in a
warlord
matter
doctor.
of months? Well, one of the most
And there's a time
popular
at the manor.
grimoires or books of medieval magic claims to provide
Dragon.
just such
I'll
a
be the dragon.
rapid, supernatural acquisition of the educational gamut. The famed and denounced
I don't know. You see
Ars
Mike or Lou tell you to pay
Notoria.
your dues.
In its pages are a series of complex rituals, orations composed of angelic names and carefully constructed visual devices, or notae,
Just
which
mind
when
me, Mike, walk over to
combined is
you
one of
with
the
this
most
here horn.
elaborate magical procedures to
Bah!
survive for the Middle Ages, claims to provide the operator with what it calls total knowledge. In
Hey,
this episode, let's explore
Salted
the
germs.
Ars Notoria, a form of medieval
Well,
theurgy
here's
which
Conquest.
magically
Usually
serves to
right down
provide
on
the
the
most
cross, right? He's
empowering
nailed to it.
dimension
And glue on
of
Photon,
human
W boson,
existence,
Z boson on
the
the buddy
power
rabbit.
that is education. If you're interested in magic, hermetic philosophy, alchemy, Kabbalah, or the history of the occult,
Magic.
make sure to subscribe and check out my numerous
So,
other
it's
content
like,
on topics and
in the middle I make that joke. It's
included
like, I remember
with
how I
curated
learned it. And
playlists on
nobody
various
taught it
topics.
to me, but that was the
Also,
one I
if you
wanted
want
it
to
to be. It's
support
like,
my
so
work
kid,
in providing
I'm busy with my
accessible,
hands full. You're
scholarly,
walking past
free
40
content
feet
on
away in
topics
a
such as
ripping
terrorism
machine.
here on
Pick up
YouTube
that piece of
for
paper for me,
free.
would you? Some
Or
walk
consider
past.
supporting my work on
Some pick it
Patreon
up.
with the
Who
super
knows
thanks that I now
if
have
they even
available down
noticed me?
below, or
And
with
to a
one-time
certain
donation
degree,
via
direct
PayPal.
physics
Again, you
works
can
that
find
way.
those
Why?
links below.
Because in the mill, should there have
And
been that piece of paper on the
your
floor? What if
support
I
of this
told you
channel
that
is
was
the only
some
thing
number
making
on
it
the serpent
possible,
hand
so
about Don's
thank you.
L bracket lecture,
And
the
now,
Ultra
let's
Snap
turn
on?
to the Ars
Like,
Notoria and the
pick up that
magical
piece of paper
rituals
for me,
and
would you?
notae, which are said to bequeath total knowledge to the Magus.
And Serpent Hand,
I'm
Dragon
Dr.
say,
Justin
I know
Sedge,
enough.
and
I've seen how
welcome
things
to
work around
Esoterica,
here.
where we explore the arcane in history, philosophy, and religion.